Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Sarah today because Pam's away at BNI doing some networking. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at LydiaMediaLLC.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@LydiaMediaLLC.com.
Like this question from Edward in Turner. What is a chirp? Should we let our guests handle that?
Let's do it.
What is a chirp, boys?
I think a chirp is when you're trying to get under someone's skin and you just throw some shade at them.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go,
Verbal
Edward.
shade, right?
Yeah.
Verbal shade is a chirp. Edward, thanks for the question.
Yeah, and that was Luke Chappelle from our own Maine Nordiques
That's right.
with the answer.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. You can call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleaning at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it.
Squatch it.
At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
Our guests in studio today from our Maine Nordiques, as you heard earlier, we have number 43 defenseman Luke Chappelle in studio from Trenton, Michigan.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Glad to be back.
I'm sorry you ran out of gas this morning. Allegedly. And we also have the head coach of the Maine Nordiques, Nick Skerlick, live in studio. Good morning, Nick. How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Especially with my favorite player here, Luke Chappelle.
It's going to be a great show.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
I love it.
Edward, strap in.
Buckle up, Edward.
Yes. Nick, Sarah has been trying to get you on this show for quite a while now, and we're happy to.
Theoretically, like
made it.
I've been saying we wanted to, and then I never did anything about
Right,
it. And
but
then
you-
I just sent him one text, and he was like, sure.
Of course.
Oh, that wasn't hard at all.
Of course.
So we certainly appreciate that. We're going to talk Maine Nordiques with Coach Skerlick and Luke coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines for Wednesday, February the 12th.
It's going to be another, 16 days
Yeah.
of February?
February.
The Maine Department of Health and Human Services released a 5-year plan to improve the safety and well-being of children. The plan includes 2 main goals. The first is for parents and caregivers to provide safety, health, and nurturing care for their children. The second is for families to experience a supportive, quote, child safety and family well-being system.
Senator Angus King co-sponsored legislation to help protect youth from the harmful impacts of social media. The bill would enforce minimum age limits to use social media platforms and prevent companies from feeding targeted content to users under 17. Studies have shown a strong relationship between social media use and poor mental health, especially among children.
And adults.
Pretty much anyone.
Anybody. The Maine Center for Disease Control recorded 1,900 cases of the flu last week, bringing the total to over 6,900 for the season. The number of hospitalizations nearly doubled last week at 131.
And Central Maine Adaptive Sports received a $20,000 donation to help further its mission of providing year-round sports programs to children and adults with disabilities. The donor was inspired by a family member who has been striving to achieve his dreams despite facing physical challenges. The nonprofit said the donation will help cover its $10,000 annual liability insurance and keep registration and other fees at a lower cost.
That's an awesome donation. Want to talk about the weather?
Weather!
Cloudy today with a high of 26 and a low of 10. Overnight snow will bring 5 to 6 inches of accumulation into Thursday with high temps in the 30s and lows in the teens. Sunny and windy on Friday with highs in the 20s and lows in the single digits.
In sports, the Celtics host the San Antonio Spurs tonight at 7.
Our Maine Nordiques will host the Danbury Hat Tricks tomorrow at 7 p.m.
The NA3 Nordiques host the New Hampshire Junior Mountain Kings on Friday afternoon.
On our high school scoreboard in boys basketball, the Class B South prelims, it was Cape Elizabeth over Leavitt, 57-48, and Lake Region beating Poland, 61-52.
In girls basketball, Class C South prelims, Monmouth beat Richmond 40-22, and Poland over Mount Abram 45-36. That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is sweeping the Twin Cities.
Sweeping?
It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for February the 12th, shall we? Sarah, you with me?
February. Yes.
All right.
I'm here. Sorry.
Your lack of enthusiasm is concerning.
No.
We're going to start off with Christina Ricci, who is 45 years old today.
She was little old Wednesday Addams.
She
remember?
was,
Way
yes.
back when.
In the Addams Family movie in 1991. And she was also in Casper. And Now and Then.
She was in that movie with the Johnny Depp, the Headless Horseman one. What's that one? The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, there you go.
That one was gross.
Okay, she also starred in the series The Lizzie Borden Chronicles in 2015.
Yeah, that was good.
I bet. China Phillips of Wilson Phillips is 57 today.
One more day.
That's the one.
That one?
Yep, that's the one.
Is that her? Is that the one?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good, right? That's why the Nords call her for the anthem.
That's pretty good.
That's right. It's true. Actor Josh Brolin is 57 today.
Yay.
No Country for Old Men. He also did W, where he played George W. Bush
Okay.
back in 2008.
You're forgetting the most important movie of all.
What is that?
The Goonies.
The Goonies.
Come on.
All right.
Josh Brolin.
Sure.
He was the best.
I'm not disputing that. I remember him from No Country for Old Men. It's probably just a recency thing. Actor and talk show host Arsenio Hall is 69 today.
He did the
He sure did.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, his show ran for like 5 years, from 89 to 94, and then he came back for a year. He's also in Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Harlem Nights, and yeah, he's done some good stuff.
He's done some things.
Joanna Kearns, 72 years old today. She was the mom on Growing Pains.
Yeah, America's Mom.
Yes, from 85 to 92. Just stay away from America's Dad and you'll be fine. Right? That's Bill Cosby.
Oh, right. Ooh, yes. Stay away.
Singer Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers is 73 years old today. What a Fool Believes. Taking it to the streets. Minute by minute. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Doobies in 2020 and has won 5 Grammy Awards.
Wow.
Don't mess with Michael McDonald.
I guess he's something.
Author Judy Blume is 87 today.
Yes.
Have you read any of her books?
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
There you go. That came out in 1970.
And she wrote the Fudge and Super Fudge books.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Those were my favorite when I was little.
And rounding out FPBs for February the 12th is actor Joe Don Baker, who is 89 years old today.
Yay.
You remember him from
Everything? I don't know. I remember him from Walk Tall.
Walking Tall?
Walking Tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Buford. Is it? I don't remember. I don't know how to say his last name. Pusey? Buford Pusey?
Pusser?
Pusser?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
That's funny over there.
I'm pretty sure.
No? Is that funny over there? Okay.
Pusser? Buford Pusser?
Yeah.
The story of him, from the original one, because they remade it.
Right.
With The Rock.
With The Rock, yeah.
And it was good. But I remember it from way back when.
Yeah, Joe Don has had an interesting career.
Yeah.
He's appeared in some of the worst movies of all time, yet he's also worked with Nick Nolte and Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's run the gamut.
He was in the Dukes of Hazzard in 2005.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Those are your FPBs for February the 12th.
February. Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guests in studio from the Maine Nordiques, defenseman Luke Chappelle and head coach Nick Skerlick. Sarah, how psyched are you that you finally got Coach Skerlick in the studio?
I feel like we were making it sound like he was like, no. But really, it was just like one text message where I was like, hey,
Yeah.
want to? And he was like, yeah.
Well, Coach, you just got to know there was a lot of build-up here because for
we're like,
weeks,
"Oh, we gotta get that guy. We gotta
Sarah's
do
like, "We
it."
got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show," but she never reached out. And then she reached out, and you were like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Okay. Like it was like not a big deal at all.
All right.
I was one of the 1,800 people with the flu last week. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm glad you're better.
yeah, I feel great. Phenomenal.
Congratulations on becoming the winningest coach in Maine Nordiques history. Fantastic.
Thank you.
He's humble.
67 wins, right?
Yes.
And this is your second year.
Second season.
Not too shabby.
No, and it's easier when you got good players like Mr. Chappelle.
Like Mr.
here
Chappelle
in front
over
of you
there.
every
Help
night.
him out.
Yeah.
Helping me out is one thing.
Now, we want to tell our listening audience that Luke had no idea that Coach Skerlick was going to be here this morning.
No
Right?
idea.
None. And then he started texting you this morning, and you were like, "What's going on?"
What's happening? Sorry.
It's all right.
Luke, how would you sum up your relationship with Coach Skerlick? How do you guys get along?
Well, I've known him for like 4 years now, so we're pretty tight and more of like a friendly relationship more than a coach to me.
Mm-hmm. That works, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
For me at least.
Yeah. We've heard, Coach, we often ask players about you and your coaching style and what they think. And what seems to come through just about every week is that you are tough but fair.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, would you say?
I'd throw in the words bipolar, too, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say tough but fair, but I think I'm one of the more fun people on the road trips, like when we're going on the bus, and I like to keep things light, but then it's like an hour later, if something wasn't packed correctly, and I'm flipping out about something probably way out of context that I don't need to be so angry about. But yeah, I'd say fair is the big one because at the end of the day, all the players that come here do agree to come here. We get to recruit them in here, and if you're just miserable all the time, they're not going to want to be here. So
Right.
I'd learned pretty quickly you can't just always be so harsh on mistakes.
And how would you sum up your year so far? You guys have struggled through a lot of injuries, right?
It's frustrating looking at the standings because we really want to get one of the top 2 seeds. It gives you first off a bye for the first round of playoffs, which is so needed with the rest period. Not to mention if you don't get that bye, you play a best of 3 series. And what's really frustrating this year is against the best 3 opponents we play all season, we have like 9 wins, 2 losses, and 2 overtime losses. Mm-hmm. And then against the teams that aren't in the top 4, we're closer to like 500. So it is kind of nerve-wracking to think that maybe when you're playing a best of 3 series and you can lose the first 2 games and it's over out of nowhere, as opposed to the first round of the real playoffs are 2 weekends.
Yeah.
So if you don't do great for weekend 1, you do have a chance to kind of regroup, which happened last year in our first series. We went 5 games. So, but I would say it's a very frustrating season. Mr. Chappelle here got hurt in the 7th game of the season. We didn't see him back until game 33 or 34. So he missed over 20-something games, and his injury was he needed surgery. And another player also had the same injury, and he got hurt before the first game. And at the time, he was our leading point scorer of all franchise history. And I believe Laurent Trepanier actually has passed him over this season because he's played 25, 30 more games now.
Yeah.
Just injuries, I'm telling you, it was crazy every week. I mean, one boy was like he got hurt every step he took in Johnstown, and had a back injury, an ankle injury, a face injury, a hand injury, and it was just like, what are we doing?
Made of glass.
And they're tough kids. They really are. But it's just we had the injury bug, and hopefully the adversity will set us up for a special ending.
Luke, how does it feel to get back on the ice?
It feels really good. I was obviously waiting like 4 months, just watching every game, wishing I could be out there. But now that I'm back, I'm helping the team out, getting some wins, and feels good.
Can we ask what your injury was, or is that a HIPAA violation?
No, I broke my wrist, but it's actually a lot better now.
And you had a goal and an assist in your last game?
I did.
Right on. So tell us about the goal. What happened?
Zion Green passed it across me on the blue line, and I just saw an opening and went down and shot it top left, scored.
So you crashed the net.
Yeah.
Right on. From the blue line. Wow.
Yeah.
Coach, do you encourage that type of play from your defenseman?
I saw the net that was open, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to shoot this, right? Like, that's not going in. And then he shot it, and I was waiting for it to go over the net, and I didn't hear it hit the glass. and I didn't see it go over the net, and I go, I think that's in the net, and then I look and Luke's already doing his dumb celebration. And I was like, all right, I guess we scored. And I take a lot of heat on Facebook about our power play. It's like crazy. People think like I don't want to score on the power play. So it's always coach's fault, not the 5 players on the ice that have the privilege to be on the power play. So that always feels good to score on the power play because I know maybe Facebook won't blow me up after the game.
Yeah.
But it was a nice shot. It's something I wish Mr. Chappelle would do more, shoot the puck.
What's your celebration look like?
I got a couple. Normally, I just go down on one knee and give a little fist bump or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
The traditional celly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
He's always down on one knee. It's one celebration. It's the same one. We could be losing 8-0. It's now 8-1, and Luke is 50 feet down the ice on a one-knee slide.
Yay!
Nick, you played.
Not at this level, but I also did the same celebration, believe it or not.
Just that one.
Yeah, I only scored about 6 times this season, which wasn't a lot.
Okay.
But yes, I did enjoy playing. I still do play, actually, but probably just on weekends. I don't play in an adult league or anything.
Yeah.
So I miss playing. I will say I think coaching is actually more self-rewarding. It fills you up more with passion. I'm more excited for games now on Sunday through Thursday as a coach than I was as a player because you have to prepare way differently than them, the players.
Yeah.
But I definitely miss playing. Playing was fun.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I played left wing. People always say, "Oh, you're a goalie." I'm like, just because I'm fat doesn't mean I'm a goalie. Like, come on. I had some ability, right? I was a player.
I can
scored
skate.
6 goals.
I scored
a year.
6 goals. I would run people
Yeah.
into the glass, and it would sound cool, and it made me feel like I was doing something.
There you go.
Technically, I was probably the most out of position player ever. Now that I know how to coach position, and I will tell you, I wish I knew what I knew now as a coach. I wish I knew at 15. It's something that you and listen now. Like I'm sure if Luke was a coach, he'd say the same thing. But it's kind of like a cheat code. Like if you put the work into studying the game, you get a lot out of it. And I always say, man, I could have been so much better if I knew what I knew now as a player. We love coaching. I've been doing it for I believe 8 seasons now, and it's no other job. I feel like the richest man on the planet, and I'm not. Because every day, win or lose, you get to show up with these guys and compete with them.
Right.
So competing is a privilege, in my opinion.
My father used to say, youth is wasted on the young.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, because when you're in the prime of your life physically, you don't know. You just think everything's going to come naturally,
Sure.
like it always has. But then you keep moving up. Part of your job is getting these guys ready for the next level, which for a lot of them is D1 hockey.
Yep.
And Carter Richardson, who was supposed to be here today, I think he ran out of gas too.
He may just be far, far away.
That's right. But he's going to Lake Superior State.
Yeah.
Already committed.
Yep, he committed over the summer, and he will be going in next year, even though he does have one more year eligibility to play. He'll be going to Lake Superior State next season. And he will be joining our very good dear friend Ryan Shelley, who was an associate head coach with the Nordiques last season, and really, really helped me get acclimated to this level and to the knowledge I needed to have at this level. Ryan's kind of a hockey nerd. I mean, he is a freak.
And his wife plays too, doesn't she?
His wife plays. Yeah, she's fighting the men in the Beers League up in Bangor, and she was a stud as a player too. And I'll tell you what, it would actually have been nice to get Ryan and his wife on the pod on the show.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. He's hilarious, and they're just good hockey people, and they're really good to their youth hockey players up in Bangor, that area. They do a lot for them with the Twin River hockey camps and hockey teams they do in the summer. So Carter will be joining Coach Shelley, and I talk to Coach Shelley probably once a month, just catches up on Carter, and we talk about Mr. Chappelle here because he's also a Michigan native. That's where Lake Superior State is in the Upper Peninsula. So just trying to get these boys in the college, though, is probably the primary objective of my job. But I feel like with Carter, we kind of know he's going, and it's not very stressful that we know he's got a commitment. So.
Right. Is that the most rewarding aspect of your job?
Yeah, it definitely is. We had a kid last year named Jake Bernadette.
I remember Jake.
So like Luke said, Luke's been with me for 3 seasons now, and Jake I only had 60 games with. And I'll tell you what, like that kid was hysterical. There's a couple processes about college, finances, financial aid. And he came in one day and was like, Coach, I want to play D1 hockey. Like, my family will sell their home for me to play D1 hockey. It does not matter. So I started calling schools, and sure enough, every school loved him. They didn't need to offer him a $250,000 scholarship for 4 years. And because of that and how good Jake was, he ended up going to St. Lawrence. And he came in the one day and was like, I'm going to go to St. Lawrence. He was almost crying. And I was like, this is the greatest job ever on a day like today. We had Charles Tardif. He's going to Sacred Heart. Yeah. We have a couple kids at West Point. Niels Versalius has been a highlight reel. He's been on, what would that one Spittin' Chicklets video have? 200,000 views, something like that.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, he had a goal in West Point against Air Force a couple weeks ago. Last I looked, that reel was like 250,000 views. Wow. So just seeing stuff, the alumni do stuff too, and it kind of gives the guys that we still have here, gives them some hope and like, hey, these guys are doing it at the next level and they're doing a really good job. I'm on the same team or was on the same team. It gives them, I think, a dose of reality of, hey, we can get to that level and do what these guys are doing, and gives them the confidence and, gives us something to do on, Friday nights, go on ESPN Plus and watch all these guys play after we're done playing, because typically I don't want to watch my team right after. And we try to give the 24-hour rule. It's why these kids choose to not go to school as 18-year-old college freshmen versus 21-year-old college freshmen. It is stressful, though, to get them there. And they're stressed more than I am, but it's stressful for us as well as coaches.
Luke, where is your eligibility status right now as far as the North American League goes?
I have this year, and then I can also play another year juniors as well.
Is that your goal? Will you play next year if the opportunity is there? Yeah. Do you want to play for the Nords?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
It's like, of course I do.
He's sitting right there.
I deal with Matt Chappelle, Luke's father, on that regard. Every once a week he likes to throw it in my face. Luke is good enough to go to other places, which we know. And if Mr. Chappelle is not back, I will be. You guys will be talking about me being a famous person next year on the show, because I'll be in prison.
You guys have 14 regular season games left, 11 of them at home. This was kind of by design, kind of by luck.
Yes. Yeah. I would say last year we started the year really hot, and then was it January?
Yeah, we went a little slow.
We went on like a 12-game road trip, and we were prepared for it, but we just couldn't get a winning streak going, and we came back in February, and it was the flu. The one game we had 14 players against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. I actually remember the day. I think it was like February 23rd was the official date, 23rd, 24th weekend.
I was sick that weekend.
Yeah, we had like 2/3 of our team.
Ouch.
So I said this year, hey, we want to make sure we are home for the sickness, and last week was our sick game, I would say, Friday night. We might have some lingering illness here, but to have the ability to stay home with the weather, and the end of the year grind, these kids have their bodies are getting deteriorated and tired, and to have the opportunity to stay home and leave your house at 4 p.m. for a home game as opposed to 36 hours prior to get on a bus and sit on a bus for 12 hours and then get in a hotel and probably eat some Chili's or Applebee's and not really a nutritious meal. I think we have a chance to make some noise here with the last 11 games being at home versus on the road.
You guys have a little bit of work to do as far as the standings go. You're currently in third. What are you, like 4 or 5 points out of first?
Yeah, I think it's 3, but those teams have played less games. Rochester lost last night, which we're excited about.
Yeah.
They did lose in a shootout, though, so anything can happen at this point. Like, Maryland comes to town. If we can win both against Maryland, then we'll be right in a top position where, everyone thinks we want to win the division. Of course we do, but we just want to get in second place to get that bye for the first round.
You can't take any team in this league lightly. Danbury not having the greatest season. They've had a rough few years, right? Mm-hmm. But they're coming to the Colisee tomorrow night. Luke, how do you feel about that game?
Definitely pretty fired up, just because this is 4 points that we really need, and it's going to be very big along the line.
If you could show a video of one game from your career to a scout, what would it be? It can even be a peewee game where you just went off.
It would probably be my first NAHL goal. I went end-to-end and slipped it through a kid's stick and scored on a breakaway.
Yeah.
So that was definitely one of the highlights of my career.
I wouldn't agree with that. Luke Luke had a game before we were in the NA together. He played for an 18U team, and we were getting killed by a really good team out in Minnesota. And he's a defenseman, so defensemen aren't supposed to score. And I remember telling the forwards, "Oh, you're good for nothing right now. Like you're a waste of space out here." And we ended up tying the game, and Luke had all 3 goals to tie it as a defenseman. Now, I think he took the penalty that we lost the game at the end. Yeah, you did, right? Yeah. But, I mean, see a D score 3 goals in the span, I think it was like 11 minutes. Like, it's special moment. It's a special thing that only special players can do. But I would say that one was probably, I'd say
that's up there for sure.
That's a good one for Luke, for sure.
Do you want to change your answer? Or are you going to stick with
I'll agree with that.
All right.
He's like, no, he's right. That was it.
Remember, honest and fair. That's what Coach does. Honest and fair.
That's right.
Nick, you watch these kids before they come and join the Nords. Like, what are you looking for? What do you spot when you see a kid out there on the ice that's not, in the NAHL yet, but just like looking? What are you looking for?
So that's a great question, and unfortunately, it's always evolving and changing. And it used to just be like pure offense, where like, oh, this kid could shoot the puck, or oh my goodness, look how good he is on breakaways, or look how good he is on the power play. Now I would say that the overall competitiveness of that player in situations that don't lead to scoring is probably the big one. Like, seeing how hard they work when they're not going to score is important for us. And then the answer is always evolving, because we lost last year to Maryland. Well, Maryland can't skate. They're not good skaters, but they're huge. And they're defensive-minded, and they're coached that way, and their coach is a mastermind. So this year we were like, okay, maybe we should take that approach. And if you look at our scoring this year, it's down from last season. If you look at the individual scoring, it's way down from last season. But if you look at the wins, I think we're just probably 2 or 3 games shy. And consider the injuries we've had this year, so I think we did a nice job recruiting. But like, body language is a big one. I would say we're really good at finding kids who were at the top of the world, maybe at 16, 17. They went to better leagues. There's only 2 or 3 better leagues than our league. And maybe they fell off the wagon. And we do have a boy who's played in the best junior leagues, actually 2 of them, who played in the best junior leagues in the world, where at one time committed to really high-end D1 schools, and they lost those commitments. And I would say both those kids are having excellent seasons. So it's also rewarding to be able to bring in kids who maybe were kind of forgotten about, that used to be talked about for the NHL, and now they come back and they're having rewarding seasons. So it depends what we're looking at when we're looking for players, like in terms of age and where they play for. I'd say the younger kids, we're looking for speed and physicality, and again, that just competing in those situations that maybe don't lead to scoring, because everyone thinks hockey's about scoring. It is. You have to score more than the other team to win. But how many goals do you have this year? 2, 3, 4?
6.
Okay.
He's like, excuse you? His face.
But having 6 goals in a season, I mean, he gets 8 shifts a period. So if you say he's got 24, 25 shifts a game, there's 60 games. We're talking about, I don't know the exact number, but we're talking about 600, 700 shifts, and he's only scored 6 goals. So it's not just about scoring.
It's a puzzle that you're putting together.
Yeah, we'd like to say that to make ourselves feel better as general managers. Like, hey, this is the piece of the pie. But the problem is, every time you feel like you got those pieces together, someone gets hurt, someone gets sick, or something happens. And, these kids also have personalities. They're not robots, but, having to deal with some things maybe at home. The other day we had a kid come in and his girlfriend broke up with him, and I'm not the one to talk to about that, because I'll give you the honest truth on that one. But, grandparents passing away mid-season, stuff like that happens, I'd say, on a monthly basis. And to be able to help these kids through those situations is super important for them and me, because it's also learning how to deal with it. I think Luke, for example, 3 years ago was mad at a teammate over a girl, and he texted me at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, dude, don't bring that crap around me, please. Like, he's like, sorry, it won't happen again. And it hasn't since. So.
Well, that's a good question too. Then, how much does personality play into it? Like, what you must have. Boys that don't always get along, maybe they have some issues with each other. And so that's a piece of the puzzle too, right? Fitting together. Like, what do you do if somebody's just not jiving with the rest of the team?
You got to remove them. We call that culture. Actually, everyone just says the word culture. It's like every coach when they're recruiting talks about two things like habits and culture, and they just say the words because all the D1 schools are saying that in their recruiting. Our culture this year is too good in terms of how they treat each other, and I actually think it hurts us at times. If we have a game we're not playing well, and these guys are so used to being each other's best friends, and there's zero adversity. At some point, I need someone to look at another guy on the team and go, hey, like, you got to be better. But no one is willing to do that this year, and it's actually been my number one frustration. We haven't had a fight in practice, which is always a good thing because that's always a risk of injury. It's the first time I've ever had a team that has not had a fight in practice, and that goes back to my youth coaching days, too. Wow. I mean, we had fights at the 16U level in practice. Kids were throwing punches. This year, you don't have it, not a single time, and it's a blessing, but it's also a curse. And the curse comes rarely. I would say once every 2 months you're looking at it going, can we get some turmoil in here just to stir it up? And because I do think adversity does it leads to more improvement. But they're good kids this year. I think Luke would say everyone gets along with everybody.
Everyone loves everybody on the team. No one really has a problem with anyone, so we get along pretty well.
That speaks to the maturity level, too, of the team this year.
Luke, you have, a month and a half left to go in the season?
Yeah, so, about that.
A lot of practices left. So if you light somebody up in practice,
throw some punches.
Just tell them, Coach said.
We got to be meaner to each other, you guys.
Luke is one of our I wouldn't say our better fighters, but he's kind of like, this doesn't have like a stop button to him. And not having the ability to punch people with the wrist has been good for me to control his anger, and because I don't have to worry about it. Because he knows if he punches someone and he hurts himself, he's going to be in a lot of trouble with me.
You don't want to end your season.
I was thinking about it last weekend, but...
Yeah, I heard it was rough last week. I missed that one.
Yeah, well, I decided maybe it's not the best idea yet.
Yet.
Get it a little stronger.
So what happened? What do opposing players have to do to you?
It's not even what they do to you. It's what they do to your teammates. Last weekend, my D partner got hit from behind, blood all over the ice. I wasn't out there. I probably would have done something, but...
There's retribution that goes with that, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it. Like, we've talked about, like, getting rid of fighting in hockey and what would happen, but the general consensus from you players is we need it. We need it to regulate bad behavior, more or less, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Coach Skerlick?
I'm all for the fighting in hockey because at the end of the day, if the kids can't police and I'm not talking about the youth. I'm not saying that the Gladiators U10 team in Auburn right. play the Nordiques U10 team in the Coliseum and the kids start fighting, but let's be real. Like, you see these viral videos at all sports of the parents fighting and each other in the parking lot, or the coaches fighting, or a parent fighting a coach, or coaches fighting umpires, and like, you don't really see that at our level in youth and in junior hockey. Just because the kids kind of police everything, they fight for 35, 40 seconds and they're done. And I do believe in that part. Unfortunately, every now and then someone's going to get hurt fighting. But I think the statistics would probably be higher if there wasn't fighting on the injuries. And, the boy who got hurt on our team got hit by a significantly larger human, and I don't have anyone to combat that human. I mean, we're talking 6'7", 265 pounds. Like, I look around, I'm the only one who probably has a fighting chance against someone that size. Right. Now that hit gets thrown, if there's no fighting involved for the next time we play them or whatever, it's just going to be more of an ugly game. So I do think fighting does belong in the game, and it does police the game. And I think it polices the parents and the referees and the coaches as well.
We hear a lot about personalities and identities when it comes to hockey teams. Sarah and I are Bruins fans. We still don't know what their identity is. At this point in the season,
we're having a hard time.
Are they going to rebuild? Are they going to try to make a push? What is going on with this team? The situation is obviously different in junior hockey, but Luke, how would you explain the personality or the identity of this team?
We're just a hard-working team. We like to play physical and obviously win the games we can win, and we're looking to make a push here for sure.
We'd like to get to Minnesota again. I think the kids deserve it, and most certainly have a chance to do some damage if they do get there.
Let's talk about the Top Prospects Tournament that's coming up here. Both of you guys are making the trip, right?
Yeah.
Luke, what did it mean to you to be selected?
It meant a lot. I definitely excited to get in front of these schools and show them my capabilities and what I can do for sure.
Mm-hmm. And especially now that you're all healed up.
Yeah.
Right? We mentioned it earlier that you missed like 3 months with your injury.
Good portion of the season for sure.
Now you're back and dishing out apples and lighting the lamp. Right?
Yep.
And Coach Skerlick is going to be coaching Team Gold.
It's exciting. The way the process works is coaches get selected by team ability and how the teams do. I'm more excited for the kids that are 04s. Luke's an 05, so he's got 2 more years, and you don't see a lot of 05s going to this event. It's mainly 04s in their last hurrah showcase to get in. I thought it was important for Luke to go. The event this year moved to Michigan. Obviously, like, Luke is from Michigan, and ironically enough, the arena that it's at was an arena Luke played at, I think, before he came to the Nordiques, right?
Yeah, it was my home arena,
home
USA arena.
Nice.
Yeah, so that like, knowing that he got in was important. Laurent Trepanier, Zion Green, they deserved it. Shane Coslin, who's a heck of a human being, hilarious kid, comes from a really good family. Did not get on the East Division team, but we were lucky enough to get him at the at-large team, which is not normal. Typically, the at-large goes to teams not in the playoffs. So for Shane to be able to get in at the last second, I thought was awesome. So we're sending 4 players and a coach, and we're excited to be there. I'm not looking forward to figuring out how to get there because we're supposed to get some snow on Sunday.
Right, yeah.
And we fly out Boston on Sunday, so we're going to be talking about how to get down there maybe on Saturday night, get a hotel, and make sure we can get out. But we're excited.
So that tournament begins on the 17th?
Yep.
Right, and it lasts how long?
Just 2 days.
2 days.
Just
Okay.
2 days.
Wow,
The kids get 2 games, and the league does a really good job. I mean, honestly, the league's fantastic with the way they treat the coaches. And we get 2 trips a year. This is one of them, and we'll discuss a lot of issues. And I actually think it's gonna be a hairy conversation because we have the head coaches meeting on Monday morning, and there's going to be some hairy conversations with a couple of the changes that are going around in hockey and getting kids committed to college. And then we also get the opportunity to go to the NHL draft as head coaches. The league flies everybody out. This year will be in Toronto. So we'll have our league meetings to set up for the season. And the commissioner of our league does a fantastic job. I mean, it is like first-class spa treatment when we go there. Last year was in Vegas, so I'm sure you can imagine the 35 coaches running around Vegas was a lot of fun. So this year I'm excited that I don't have to fly. I'm just going to drive to Toronto and do my 3 days up there and come right back. So.
All right. So
The
look,
smile.
that's pretty sweet for the Top Prospects Tournament. You get to go back home. You get to play in an arena that you're familiar with. What are you looking forward to the most?
Just showing the scouts what I can do, and I'm sure the kids on the team are also kids that we compete with on a weekly basis. So I'm sure at first there'll be a little tension, but hopefully that'll loosen up for sure.
You guys
And
leave
you'd be
do you leave a little of that on the ice when you have to do stuff like this? Like, you got to go into it with a different mindset.
Yeah, you do for sure. Just so both of you can succeed.
I'm not going to kill you today. Maybe
Just-
next
But
week
next
at the
week.
Coliseum.
But
Yeah.
next week.
There was a kid I was going at it with versus Rochester, and he's on the team. So
Who was it?
Kitchline.
Dexter. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Well,
chirping a lot. That's for sure.
Liam Chapman was on our East Division team last year. Luke was left home as he was a younger player too. Last year, Luke was. And they had a nasty fight in March. And I remember thinking, like, thank God they were not on the same team together. But fun fact about that, the Nordiques in the last, I think, 10 years now, have had the last player to fight at the All-Star game. And it started last season. Charles Tardif was our captain. Maryland's our rival. Well, a Maryland kid got hit really badly at the All-Star game. And their coach was with me on the bench, and he's freaking out and yelling at the other kid, saying, "It's an All-Star game, you jerk." And I looked at Tardif. I'm like, hey, you can make a real cool statement for yourself by sticking up for a rival. And sure enough, he went out there and he fought instantly. And I was like, I didn't mean it like that, Charles. So I did hear a little bit about that from the league.
You
That
just
we
needed
be
to get go.
And then he comes back and he's like, "Skirls, that was my first fight ever." I'm like, oh, at an All-Star game? What are we doing? But you know, it's so much fun sometimes with these guys. It really is. It's every day is a blessing and a curse, but it's I'll tell you what, the entertainment value is unbelievable some days. It really is.
Luke, how many fights have you been in, you think, in the past couple of years?
Last year I just got in 2, but there's a lot more than just like fights. There's also just like getting it in like the corner or something, cross check to the face or something like that.
Yeah. You don't hesitate to toss the gloves if you need to, right?
No, not at all.
No. You enjoy it?
I wouldn't say enjoy it. I just do what I have to do, kind of.
Part of hockey, right?
Part of hockey. But not everyone is going to engage. You know, you got to know who those guys are on your team. One of the other things we like to do here is called scouting reports, where we ask, usually we'll have the players deliver scouting reports on each other, but this could be interesting.
Yeah.
So, Luke, we're gonna let you have your say last, but we'll start with Coach Nick Skerlick. We're gonna pretend that Sarah and I own a hockey team.
Yeah.
You're our head coach, and we're taking a good long look at this Chappelle kid, and we know you've coached him up before. What can you tell us about him?
Realistic in his expectations of what he can, his capacity of what he can handle and can't handle. Very, very talented offensively, increasingly improving defensively. Not a guy you have to worry about. And I do think Luke is a player you can win a championship with, for sure is a player you could win a championship with. And then you add in the value of, he's not afraid of the bigger kids, and he's not afraid of the rough stuff, which at this level, if you're owning a team in this league, you're going to want that. I'd say an all-around player, and it's a must-have player for him, for you guys to have actually on your hockey team. And I will tell you, it's never a dull moment with him. So you'll enjoy him coming to the rink, and if he ever runs out of gas, just know he's full of crap.
And so we do a lot of work in the community here. So personality and things like that are very important to us. What is Luke like off of the ice?
He's not always so serious, which I enjoy. I do think Luke's going to have trouble in his public speaking courses when he's a freshman in college. But I do think it's he's a guy that you want to hang out with, a guy you want to go out with. And quite frankly, I think he's a guy that, when he's in the schools, or I think it's someone, if you have a child in a school and your son or daughter is going to come home really excited they got to meet him. And I would say that about all of our Nordiques, quite honestly. But I do think Mr. Chappelle needs to start preparing for his freshman seminar courses. All right. Wherever he's going to go to college.
More public speaking for you.
Yes.
I do a couple classes right now.
You have to sit there online, Luke. You don't have to speak to anybody. You don't speak to anyone. You just check answers.
Quiz Plus.
Quiz Plus. Sorry, that's this is by no way mean or shape or form a sponsor for Quiz Plus, by the way.
Well, this is his second appearance with us, and he's doing great. So that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
So Sarah,
we're working on it.
We're helping to get you ready.
Yeah,
along
we're just
with
preparing
Coach
you
for the next step.
Yeah.
All right, Luke. Sarah and I, unfortunately, our head coach was involved in a horrible table saw accident.
Oh God!
So now we need a head coach. And we know you've played for Coach Skerlick before, so we're calling you into the office, and we're asking for your input on Nick Skerlick.
I'd say Nick is a winning coach. He does what it takes to win games, and doesn't care about who you are and what you want. He'll find a way to win you a game for sure.
Does he treat you as a group? Does he treat you as individuals? What's happening there?
He definitely has some favorites for sure, but especially battle days when Team Blue doesn't get any calls and Team Red gets all the calls. It's kind of insane, but...
You might have to explain that for the listeners. What's that mean?
All right, I'll just say there's a couple guys on the Red team that Coach Skerlick over here likes a little more than the Blue team.
So scrimmaging?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So battle days every Tuesday. We do five drills, and we split up red versus blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And somehow the Red team gets a lot more calls than the Blue team.
Yeah.
Not sure how that works.
I think it's the other way around because blue's my favorite color.
Definitely wasn't last week. That's
No,
for sure.
red did get a little bit of a benefit last week. There's no doubt.
So you'd, given the opportunity, you would hire this man to coach your
I
team?
definitely think about it.
You think about it.
Yeah.
All right, put him on the short list.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
He's up there.
Okay.
He's up there. All right, Sarah, we have some work to do.
All right.
Hopefully, a table saw victim's coming back sooner rather than later.
Oh, it was bad. I don't know if he's coming back anytime
No
soon.
thumbs.
It was,
No thumbs.
It was horrible. Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com. We'll do 3 random questions and then finish off with the big one, which I'm really curious about what Coach is going to come up with here. But 3 random questions. We will start with Luke. Luke, if you could create your own concert with 3 bands, past or present, who would you watch?
In the summer, I went to a Pitbull concert, and that was pretty rowdy, so I'd definitely throw him in there. I also went to a Motley Crue concert with my dad. And
Sorry.
That was pretty fun as well. So those 2 together would be pretty fun. And then third, I'll go with my favorite rapper, Drake. Yeah.
So Drake, Motley Crue, and Pitbull.
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to be a heck of a show.
Yeah.
All right. Coach, same question.
Oh man, you just covered all the major food groups. I'm a big Justin Bieber guy. Wow. Yeah.
I never would have thought that.
I'm a big,
either.
but it depends, like, the ambiance. Like, if I'm there with my buddies, like, I don't want to see Justin Bieber. But if I'm, like, trying to impress a female and we're on our first date, like, maybe Justin Bieber. Run DMC.
Ooh.
So, Daryl McDaniels, his son and I were very good friends. We still are friends. We talk every now and then. I got his son into hockey. And I went to, my only concert I've ever been to was a Run DMC, and it was a reunion tour in Atlantic City, and I sat backstage and was on stage, and we did the Harlem Shake, so I was a part of that concert. So I'd say I'd like to be a part of a Run DMC concert again, and I just go wild card. I got to get a female in there.
Kesha, for sure.
No, I'm not a Kesha guy. Come on. Taylor Swift, I saw enough on Sunday on the Super Bowl. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go way off. Josh Groban. Like, that's
I'm pretty sure he's not a female.
yeah,
That's
no,
out
he's
there.
not. He's not. But you know what?
there.
I was thinking about the female, but Josh Groban, like that's what I used to listen to. And when I was on my way to my mite hockey games, my dad would put it on to soothe my emotions.
All right.
So,
All right. You guys know what the Fortress of Solitude is? It's a Superman thing. It's where Superman goes to regroup and be by himself and to really think and recharge his batteries. So it's made of ice. If you had to have a Fortress of Solitude, what would it be like? We'll start with Coach.
probably the bus. And it's kind of crazy because the whole reason why I feel the way I feel sitting right behind me in terms of 25 individuals, probably the bus. I would say that would probably be the time where I reset.
That's not solitude.
No, nope.
But we'll accept your answer.
Thank you.
Luke, what's your Fortress of Solitude look like?
At home, I like fishing a lot, so on the boat with a couple buddies, just relax and just have a good time.
Have you found any good fishing spots around here?
I haven't tried fishing around here, no. No.
I can hook you up.
You got a couple good spots?
Yeah, I got some good spots.
Sarah knows all the spots.
Yeah.
You've timed the fish.
Huh?
You've timed the fish.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the players have time to do fun things and
That's a summer
have
thing.
solitude. I'm saying,
it's
I like
off
to go on the
season.
bus. That's fun. Gym's cool.
We need a Fortress of Solitude for you.
Lydia Media, Wednesday, 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Enjoyed my time.
Come here and regroup.
I've enjoyed my time.
Luke, if hockey and sports were not an option, what would you be doing with your time?
Me and my buddies, we hopped on the mic a couple times, so I'd say probably be a rapper, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Coach, can you picture that?
I think he's heard one of my songs, actually.
Wow. Is it safe for radio? Okay. Never mind.
A rapper?
I'm so thoroughly
Look at you.
disgusted.
You got white mid-calf socks on. What kind of shoes are those?
Birkenstocks.
You got white mid-calf socks and Birkenstocks, and you go rapper?
Yeah.
There's no video cameras in here, Coach.
I wish there was. And everyone would be like, he's not.
Picked an A to be.
He's not gonna be a rapper.
Oh, don't crush
Maybe a
his-
baseball player.
crush his
Sports are not an
dreams.
option.
Don't
Oh,
crush his
sports aren't an option.
A rapper's fine.
Yeah,
could be a rapper.
Yeah,
Your
you
answer.
can- yeah, just let's
2025,
go with
we
it.
accept it.
Let's go with it.
It's your imagination.
That's right. MC Chappelle
That's right.
and the MC Chappie.
I like it.
MC Chappie. That's awesome.
All right, Coach, same deal.
I never thought about I went to school for business. I would still like to be in the entertainment business. I'm not sure if we don't have one up here in Maine. Medieval Times. It's a dinner and tournament.
Yeah.
I was a knight at Medieval Times, and I really enjoyed my entertainment career for about 6 months, and I was really into that. So I think I'd like to try to do something with acting or.
You could manage MC Chappie.
I'll tell you what, I'll have,
Could be his agent.
I'll have a lot of free time on my hands if I'm his agent, because I don't think we'll be booking many shows.
I'm sure it's delightful.
You just haven't heard me yet.
It's trying to hurt my feelings.
Tonight we're in the Denny's parking lot.
I'm gonna after we're done here, I'm showing them the Razor scooter video. I am.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's a treat.
Yeah.
I gotta find a way to get that off the YouTube.
It is. I promise you. You will wish that you've seen it well before the show ended. I promise. It is unbelievable.
All right, we need to see that.
Yes.
So we're gonna wrap it up here with our final question. And I know we've asked Luke this question before, but Coach, pretend you're back in your playing days. Would you rather play in the NHL for 12 years as a perennial All-Star and a Hall of Famer and never win a cup, or would you rather play for 5 years as a fourth liner and win a cup?
I'd play one game if I could win a Stanley Cup.
No question, right?
No question. I'd play one game. If they needed a guy off the street, even to just sit there, I would choose that.
Yeah.
And I think every person that truly cares about their teammates would probably feel that way. Now everyone's going to tell you they'd rather win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, we know some of your players.
I'm sure it's different when you're actually in the National Hockey League, because I'm sure like the road trips are fun and the money's great. But I think sitting here today, to have your name on the Stanley Cup would be unbelievable.
What would you do with your day with the
yeah.
cup?
Go to Medieval Times. Chicken wings.
I mean, it's hard to say. I've been to a lot of Stanley Cup day parties. I've been to 4 now. I would really want the people who meant more to me to enjoy it more so than the whole community. So maybe to do like a showing or a viewing at the local rink, or not like this giant parade you see some of these guys have. But I want the people around me, and then even like if it was in Lewiston, Maine, and Lydia Media showed up, just to have people that have been good to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2 times, 10 times, 110 times, just to enjoy it and kind of all come together and see what relationships form of people who are different parts of my life. I wouldn't be eating anything out of it. I think that's crazy.
Yeah. Last week somebody said they would make poutine out of it.
Was it Treppy? No, it was Pellerin. Who was here?
I can't remember.
Had to be a French Canadian kid.
It was one of the he was from Quebec.
Yeah.
It's probably Pellerin. His nose is now broken, by the way. He doesn't
he's
look.
so handsome.
He doesn't look the same right now. So
Poor kid.
Yikes.
yes.
All right, Luke, remind us of your answer.
I definitely the fourth liner and win a cup
Win a
for
cup,
sure.
yeah.
That's every
5-year career.
every kid's dream
Yeah.
is to win a cup. Just even mini sticks in the basement, you're playing for the Stanley Cup,
Right.
which
Yeah.
you always want for
Yeah.
sure.
Have you given any thought to what you would do with the cup on your day with it?
I probably just bring it home, see all my buddies from home. Just I think that'd be so cool to just all them just see the Stanley Cup and that I won it and stuff.
And then throw it in the fishing boat.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Fill it
Use it as my live
fill it
well.
with trout.
Fill it with worms, right? You
No.
get your bait in there.
They gotta clean it, right?
I think it's probably up to the individual who has it for the day to clean it. Because my goodness, that thing has some stories to tell.
I bet.
This is it's been awesome. Thank you guys for
Thank you,
coming in
guys.
today.
Thanks for having us.
We so appreciate it. And don't forget, folks, you can enter to win Maine Nordiques tickets at LydiaMediaLLC.com. There's only 11 home games left
Don't miss 'em.
before the playoffs start. So enter to win and get to the Colisee and go cheer on the Nords.
Yeah, put your snowshoes on Thursday.
Yeah, just do it. Get out there. Get out there.
Do it.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@LydiaMediaLLC.com.